hard to believe it's been 5 years since the Invictus Games, and to be back here on the forecourt of the Sydney Opera House where the Games kicked off, it's pretty amazing.
At the time when Invictus started in Sydney, day one was just an eye-opener.
I remember the opening ceremony here at the Opera House.
All this build-up and culmination of effort to really build the event, bring all the countries here from around the world, and we had a massive thunderstorm roll in across the top of the harbour bridge.
Barking it down. Good thing we're inside.
These games have never had a more beautiful backdrop.
I remember right from the opening ceremony when we got stuck out in the harbour that, you know, this was going to be a journey to remember.
Show the world what Game On Down Under really means.
The Games took advantage of some of the best parts of Sydney. We used the Sydney Harbour for sailing and the Botanic Gardens for cycling. And then we moved everything out to Sydney Olympic Park. The feeling that was throughout that park during the Games was just magical because you had this great community of support. It wasn't just those competing and the family and friends, it was all of the onlookers.
One of the things that I was really taken by was seeing the everyday Australians who had no connection to the veteran community come and be part of this. And when I asked them why, it was because this is incredible.
When I think about Invictus, I think about it as a connector because it brings individuals together, it brings groups and organisations together, and from that they can further their own cause and support for veterans and their families.
I think the Invictus Games are extraordinarily important. To me, they provide a sign that when you finish your service, that is not the end of your endeavour. Young people pass through the Defence Force all the time, and when they leave, they're frequently at a bit of a loss.
Because when you leave Defence, you lose the community of your service brothers and sisters. By being part of another community, you have people to socialise with and get you out of your shell.
You can be just a clubby. You can be the person who helps. For people who have had a background in service, that's attractive because they want to belong.
I think with Invictus Australia that what makes it unique is it actually encompasses the whole family unit.
It recognises not just the veteran themselves, but the family and their support network that's so crucial, both during their period of service and post-service.
I am the spouse of a veteran who was wounded during the Afghanistan war. The thing that really got me was at the opening ceremony when they got all of the families to stand up and the veterans from the floor applauded their families. That emotion, it really made me feel like I was part of this as well.
For them to be involved with the Invictus Games as a family support member and understanding they are not alone themselves, so they can have someone they can talk to, someone they can share stories with, it's phenomenal.
So I came back with a renewed vision and passion to do more and to unite this community.
We were very fortunate after the Games to set up a legacy program initially under the banner of Invictus Australia, the first country in the world to utilise the Invictus brand outside of the Games. Invictus Australia. It's not just about the Games, but also local communities in the way that we can engage veterans and families in local community sport, which has a much broader scale to impact the lives of veterans and their families.
For me, Invictus is all year round, as far as I'm concerned. That's what I make myself strong for, and that's how I get to meet so many people.
I was enormously proud of my nation, colleagues who are veterans, and of course of the organisers of the Games.
The opportunity to have Invictus Games in Australia was amazing. I think the Australian public are well aware of what the Defence Force do, but to see the recovery process for veterans once they're injured or ill and see how they can come back from it and to be able to support that is a great opportunity.
Prince Harry said in 2017 in Toronto, the Invictus Games is just a stepping stone, it's not your end point. Understanding how exercise has helped me in my recovery. I've now moved into personal training, and as a personal trainer, I'm now going to be the head coach of my first gym and made me feel really proud.
The Invictus Games Sydney was such a great experience. Having all your family and friends watch you compete, it inspired myself to do better.
Right from the very start, the team that delivered it worked incredibly hard. So many different partners, commercial and otherwise. Absolutely amazing in terms of how they all came together.
Don't just leave it to the Games. Follow Invictus Australia because they are really doing great work, not just for the competitors, but the friends and family as well.
Invictus will have, to me, not just a promising future, it'll have a vital future.
We owe it to all of the veterans to make sure they have an opportunity to feel the positive impacts of sport and community.
There are ways that everybody can be part of Invictus. This is everybody's program, everybody's organisation, and we really want to see it make the best of the world for veterans and their families.